Hello, everybody. This is Ronnie Ake. I'm host of Second Chances on Life podcast, where we help people with substance use disorders get the help that they deserve and let them know that they are not alone. They are loved, they are needed, they are wanted. There is help out here, and there is a life of purpose worth living for. So I am recording from home today. You may hear Jax, our giant schnauzer, upstairs if he barks or howls like he is right now. But the one in my lap here just won't leave me alone, and this is Sig. Say hi, Sig. Oh, you can hear the other one going to town. I'm gonna let him down. So it is a little difficult doing these from the house sometimes, but until we get a good steady place to work from, then we're just going to work with what we have to work with. So again, my name's Ron Ake. I am the host of Second Chances on Life podcast, and today's episode is going to be learning to be in the moment and how to learn and enjoy living sober day to day. That is way harder to do than it is said. Just learning how to be in the moment, learning how to enjoy being sober and things to do sober. If you're like me, I still don't have it figured out. It's February, and fixing to be February, almost February, and in March it'll be 2 years sober for me. 2 years sober from Rob's Ranch, and I've drank and since I was 15 years old. I was in my 20s when I started taking pills, and had back surgery at 26, and started taking back pills and stuff before that. But when I was in school, it was just mostly drinking, and I did like taking speed, and basically I never got diagnosed with ADD as a kid. Even though I had it, they just thought I had a bad attitude and bad temper, and this kid's he just don't want to learn. He's a tough case, and we just don't want to deal with it. So I was able just to squeak by, just to get by, because I don't think they wanted me to be back in their class the next year, to be honest. But and I'm sorry for that too. I just had a bad attitude. Yeah, it is what it is. It's took until me going to drug and alcohol rehab at Rob's Ranch to finally leave my anger and handle a bunch of my issues and problems. Over my shoulder and over my head back here, I am a cross fanatic. I love making crosses, drawing crosses. I make these out of horseshoe nails here. And I give them away. Some people will purchase a few of them. I say purchase them. Like out at Rob's Ranch, all the clients and all the staff and everybody have them. Every now and then, I don't sell them to anybody. If someone wants to put some money in to help me buy material or something, then that's what that money will go to. But for every one that's maybe $5 in the pot, I probably give 10 of them away. So it far outweighs the ones that I give away versus anyone that thinks they're purchasing one. And if I was to sell them, I would sell them for more than $5. I've seen similar ones for sale for $15 to $25. But so if you do want to help, and you want to help buy some material and help what we're doing here with this podcast, you can go to Second Chances on Life podcast at gmail.com, and you're willing to help, and we will appreciate and help spend every dollar we can to help people get the help that we got, or that I got. And one of these days, maybe we can help sponsor some people to go to Rob's Ranch or the Hope Center or something. I would like that a lot, and hopefully one of these days, I was told just to get this thing up and going and get out there and start helping people. But it'll get better as we go. It will eventually have a website. If anyone knows how to design and build websites, maybe you can walk me through it and help me. And anyone that's a social media guru that thinks you've got this thing figured out on social media, then by all means get a hold of me and you can help me get this thing out there. But until then, I'm just going to do what I'm doing, and we'll just record a few episodes and probably learn something, hopefully learn some things, and try to help as many people as we can along the way. And if you or you know anyone that needs help, please reach out and get the help. It takes a far stronger person to ask for help than to just sit there and wallow in your misery and let your addiction or your issues kill you, because they will. The devil will use your weakness against you, whether it's pills, booze, dope, whatever it is. And you know how it is a disease and it is progressive. I never thought I would lose control over it, but I did. And but the things behind me here, I got off track there. The crosses, I love the crosses, but the other one is the man in the bottle. And in the beginning, the man takes a drink, but in the end, the drink takes the man. And that's what that is, and that is a powerful, powerful picture. I wish I had that statue, actually. So I don't have the statue, so we framed the picture instead. So it's still a sobering reminder of the life I used to live, and the life that I know a lot of you are living. And if you are in it, and you are in that dark, deep abyss that I call it, you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to crawl out of, and you don't see any way out of it in the beginning, but there is. You're not the first one to fall flat on your face and hit rock bottom. You're not the first one to feel like a failure or be ashamed to look in the mirror. You're not the first one to care if tomorrow don't come. Me and all the friends in my circle and the people that I know through the addiction world, brotherhood and sisterhood of addiction and recovery, we've all felt those things. And you need to know that there is help, and that you're not the first one to feel these things, even though as bad, we may not know every little detail. When you start going to meetings and you start hearing the stories, you know, everyone's got a different story, but every story has some similarities too, and can be relatable. But we're going to do today's story, learning to be in the moment, how to learn to enjoy living sober day to day. I had to look over, my phone's over here vibrating. Sorry about that. But between the phone vibrating and the dog sitting here clawing on me, wanting to jump back up in my lap, old Sig here, he's a mess, boy. And then I got Jax, our giant schnauzer. He's upstairs in my son's bedroom. I don't know if you heard him a minute ago howling, but he don't just howl. He sings, man. He carries that note, turns his head up, and he'll just go to howling and singing and carry that note out as long as he's got breath. And it's kind of funny until you try and do something like this. Anywho, one of these days we may have a place to work from that is a little more peaceful and a little more professional, but dealing with what I got and working with what we got. So here we go. I want to thank some of the same people I thank every episode. First off, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, my wife Carla, my son Dakota, Justin Blankenship. He's the pastor of Landmark Church in Purcell, and that place is phenomenal. I want to thank Seth Wadley. Thank you, Seth, for everything you've done, and that you continue to not just do for me, but for other people. It's tremendous. I just don't know how to thank you enough on behalf of myself, my family, and all the families that you help and all the people that you help. It's just appreciated. I don't have the words, but thank you. I want to thank Rob's Ranch Recovery Center in Purcell, Oklahoma. That's where I went. I want to thank all the staff, the counselors, the clients, the families that support the clients and the staff, the ones that came before me, the ones that will come after me, and the ones that passed on, and all their families. I want to thank you. If you have the internal fortitude to love and support someone with addiction problems and issues, then you are a special person. And I don't think I'd be here right now if I didn't have, one, my faith. I think my faith is the number one thing that got me through it, and giving it all to God. But you need people around you. You need a support group, whether it's your family, immediate family, wife, husband, and kids, grandparents, or friends, or the people you meet in recovery. You need a strong network of support and accountability, and you need to hold each other accountable, and you need to constantly check on one another and just help each other, lean on one another. And I heard just the other day something that I found kind of astonishing and incredible at the same time. The redwoods, as tall as they are and as majestic as they are, their roots don't go very deep into the ground. They spread out, and when they only go, I believe they said 5 to 10 feet deep at the most, but then they spread out long ways, hundreds and hundreds of yards, and their root system ties into the other's root system, and they help support one another when the winds get strong and the rains and storms come. And that's what we need to do as people in general, but especially as addicts and alcoholics, is we need to get a network and a root system, just like the redwoods do. And when things get rough and rocky and the winds and challenges come, and we can't experience the pleasures of the peaks if we don't go through the valleys. And we got to have that root system and be strong for one another to help one another get through those tough times. And you need that root system. I also heard that as many people are on this planet, and as much wood and paper and all that we're going through, and how many trees it takes to support the use of our world and society right now, they've had to lab grow trees. They've had to come up with a GMO lab altered tree seeds that grow faster. Well, the faster they grow, the less fibrous they are and the weaker they are. And they don't have the strength. Once they transplant them from inside the lab to outside, and the first storms and the winds come, it destroys them. And the reason it destroys them is they don't have the strength of being tested out in the winds and in the storms. And it goes the same for us in life. The winds and the storms and the challenges, the valleys, those are the things that build our character. And I also heard that the fires of life, and this is ironic because California is on fire and tons of people are suffering because of it, and I pray for those people. But the fires of this world help forge our own perspective on life, and it helps forge our own character. So the fires of this life that we go through, the challenges and the tribulations, help forge our character to becoming who we really are. Now, a lot of us in addiction, we put on a false persona and try to put a mask on and pretend to be something or somebody that we're not. And if you are that person, and then deep and down inside, you want to get the best person out and put that person to bed, then try to reach out. Try to get the help you need. You can contact me. You can contact Rob's Ranch, the Hope Center for women. But we do need, back to the root system, we need that root system to lean on one another in that support group. So it's ironic. We need to say the Serenity Prayer real quick. If you do go to rehab center, a faith-based one, especially like I did, then you will learn the Serenity Prayer and the Lord's Prayer. And might as well say them both right now, and I'll help you get to know them ahead of time, and that way it'll just come second nature to you. So just bear with us and try to learn these as you go here. The serenity prayer is: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Now that is the serenity prayer. Excuse me. The Lord's Prayer is: Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. That is the Lord's Prayer. So you will learn both of them, the Serenity Prayer and the Lord's Prayer, if you go to a faith-based recovery center. But so back on the topic of learning to be in the moment, how to learn to enjoy living sober day to day. It's a lot easier to say than to do, I'll tell you. Like I said earlier, I've been drinking since I was 15 years old, and it progressively got worse as I got older. And I've only been sober almost 2 years, and about 6 weeks it'll be 2 years. And I'm still trying to identify who I am. And I try to fake that. I try to, be confident and let people think I'm confident and things are better now that I'm sober, for sure. I got all the poison and the chemicals out of me. But I've drank all my life, trying to identify myself and my purpose and how to go through a day-to-day basis without drinking is still a process, and we're going on 2 years into it now. So if you're on the recovery end of it, and you know what I mean by not really knowing who you are without alcohol, how to go to a social event, or how to go to a birthday party, a funeral, a ball game, anything, how to even go out to dinner, not with anyone, with other couples, or even just with yourself and your wife or your spouse, how to do that without having alcohol, or if drugs are your thing, without having drugs. It's a challenge, and the only way I can tell you that I've been able to do it is a lot of prayer and a lot of being humbled and taking my pride and my ego and just flushing it down the toilet. And, I used to be an ego maniac, and I didn't care what anyone thought. And you can take me or leave me. It didn't really matter. If I'm a friend of yours, I'm a friend till I die. And if you ever need anything, I'll try to help you best I can and be there for you. But I wasn't going to put on a front, and I'm still not going to put on a front for anybody. I think I'm trying to put out the best product of me that I can now, and that's still not going to be good enough for some people. Some people still not going to like it, or like me, or the way I am, or think I'm fronting, and I'm not. I screw up every day. I embarrass myself every day. I still got some of my old tendencies. If a opportunity to comes up and an improper joke or something comes up, I'm still guilty, and I apologize. I try to be a better witness and a better example for others, but I still have my faults, and I'm trying to be the best that I can. And I still screw up every day. So I don't want anyone to sit here and think like, well, he thinks he's holier than thou, or just because he's sober or not doing the pills and stuff, he thinks he's better than anybody else. I'm not, man. I screw up every day. And I embarrass myself with it sometimes. And for those of you that have experienced me screwing up and not being the best witness or leading by example, then I apologize, and I'll try to do better. But I'm a work in progress, I think, as all of us are, one day at a time, sometimes one breath and one moment and one blink at a time. So, but how to wake up in the morning and enjoy being sober, and how to go through your day sober. Uh, I say it almost on every episode, and I practice it myself. Uh, I don't necessarily put my shoes under my bed like the saying goes. Put your shoes or boots under your bed. Make your bed every day. And when you're on your knees getting your shoes or boots out from under there, thank the Lord for that day. And the whole point of it is to get to the Lord before the world gets to you. So even though I might not put my boots under there, I generally try to kick them off at the back door. Miss Carla likes that a lot better than trying to track in, especially if you got anything on your feet. So I try to kick them off at the back door. But I still, as soon as my alarm goes off in the morning, I try to practice. I got a side fan and a ceiling fan that goes, and I try to roll over out of bed, hit my knees, turn the fan off, turn the alarm off, and the next thing I do is while I'm on my knees is fold my hands and bow my head and thank the Lord for this day, give it over to the Lord, ask Him to use me as a vessel, use me to help others or work through me to help others, and just to help me get through my day, and thank you for another sober day. I try to do that every day. I'd be lying if I said I did it every day, but I sure try to. And I've tried learning who I am without alcohol, and I'm learning that I can still have fun. I can still cut up and be me. I know I can't cut up, and I can't show a lot of humor on these podcasts like I'd like to and like my normal nature is. But these are very serious subjects, and they are killing people every day. And the whole purpose for this podcast is actually it's multiple purposes. Is for people that are in their addiction that haven't got the help. I want those people to know that I've walked it, I've been there, I've lived it. I'm not someone that's just read it in a book and telling you what I think is this whole world's about. I've lived it, man. I mean, I have been a runaway freight train, alcoholic, out of control, drinking every day, drinking for breakfast, my hands shaking, get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, and shaking and bouncing off the wall or on the doors and waking people up because I'm unstable and have to drink to get stable. I know, I've been there. I've been the one to wait for my wife to go to work so I can make a drink. In my head, if it had juice in it in the mornings, it was breakfast. So whether it was vodka and orange juice or cranberry juice or whatever, it was breakfast. And it would help me stop shaking. And as pathetic as that is, I mean, I had bottles hidden in the freezers, in the house, outside in the garage. I had bottles in my vehicle, bottles in my golf bag. Just a pathetic excuse for a man. And I knew it. I felt it. I wasn't happy with it. I couldn't look myself in the mirror because I didn't like what I saw. But we can become the better product of ourselves that is possible and put that product out there for the world. I think we deserve it to ourselves. Our families deserve to get the best product of us that we can give them. And our family and friends, even strangers, our co-workers, everybody deserves to get the best product of you and me that they can get. And I truly believe that. And I say on almost every episode, I think you got to get broke to get fixed. And I believe that. If you haven't found your bottom, and you know, everybody's bottom's different. I heard someone say today that some people have high bottoms, and it sounds funny, but it's true. Not everybody has to fall flat rock bottom like I did in order to make a change. Some people are not as hard-headed as others. I have one stone head, and I got to get hit in it many times before I can realize I need help. I had to get burned on the mom stove many times before I realized it was hot. So that's just me. I am going to be a punching bag until I can change the way I think And I'm working on it on a daily basis to just try to live by example and listen to other people that are a good example. And, the saying, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. It's amazing to me and my wife, the circle of people I have around me and the contacts I have in my phone since I went to recovery versus what I had before. It is just mind-blowing. There's no way that I would know professors at the University of Oklahoma, pastors. I bet I'm closely in with 3 or 4 pastors that I can text at any time. Counselors. Rob's Ranch has some of the best counselors that money could buy. If you had to pay for that kind of counseling outside of Rob's Ranch, you'd be broke. But I have had to learn how to be me without alcohol, and you can do it too. And just being present, just being there at your kids' birthday parties, Christmas, anniversaries, even at dinner, and just shut out the distractions. I tell people, you would not believe how big a blessing it was for me to go to recovery for 3 months without a cell phone. At first it's awkward because we're so tied to our devices, but those are, I believe, they're products of the devil. If you don't think so, look at the back of your iPhone. Yeah, if you know the story of Adam and Eve, there's an apple on the back of that thing with a bite out of it. That'll tell you just where that thing comes from. But our world and our day, we can't survive without them. But I suggest trying to put that phone down. Try it an hour at a time. Try it 2 or 3 hours at a time after you do that. Preachers like preaching against fasting. And if you can't come up with something that you can fast on, try your cell phone. It'll be incredible. And when you do that, don't go in there and turn the TV on and substitute it for a TV. Try doing something without your electronic devices. It'll blow your mind how much more you can get done and how much more it'll mean. Sit down and read a book. Why not crack open the Bible? Get you a Bible that's easy to interpret. I've got the men's Bible, and it's got study lessons in it and everything that are just amazing. And if I have a problem for the day, whether it's anger, anxiety, greed, anything, I can look up in the Bible and look up in the index of it, and it'll give me verses to look at. Anxiety is a big one. I deal with it daily, seems like. The men's Bible is a great one. But try to get away from your devices and learn to live and become the new you without the booze and the alcohol and the drugs and all that. And pay more attention to your spouse and your kids. Spend more time with them. Look them in the eye when they're talking to you. Turn the TV off instead of looking around them or looking up at the score or whatever. I'm guilty, man. I've done it. I try to make more eye contact than I ever did before when she's trying to talk to me or something. But just enjoy some peace. Learn to be in the moment. This is the second Christmas I've had that I can remember since I was about 15 years old that I did not have alcohol or drugs in my system. And even though this is a valley time in our life, and it is a trying one financially, we may be financially worse off now than we ever have been. And I'm probably happier, truly happy. Even though it's hard to pay bills and all that, it's hard to be happy, and you're going to argue and stress about it. But me as a person, I can take it on and I can handle it a lot better now than I ever did before. I'm basically a volcano, and you're pouring fire on the volcano when you go to drinking. And Rob's Ranch taught me how to deal with my anger and my issues and all that. But you can be the best product of you without it. You can enjoy life without the alcohol and the drugs. Make some mocktails. Look them up. I take like ginger ale and cranberry juice with a splash of orange juice in it. It's amazing. You can take Arnold Palmer's. You can even buy them pre-made Arnold Palmer's at Walmart. Half lemonade and half tea. That's what I used to drink. My number one drink was Arnold Palmer with vodka. Now, it was about half Arnold Palmer and about half, it was about half ice and half Arnold Palmer, and the rest of it was vodka. But my wife even brought me some when I was in rehab. And about 6, 7 o'clock, by the time I'd be getting home in the evening, when I was in rehab about that time, I'd start having that craving. It's just habit. And so she brought me some Arnold Palmer's, and I would just crack one open. Just the sound of that can cracking open like a beer, helps. But just the familiar taste without the alcohol. But those mocktails, man, I'm telling you, you can make some really tasty drinks and pre-game. If you're going to a wedding or a funeral or anything like that, just like if you're an alcoholic like I was, I couldn't go to anything without an ice chest and taking my own stuff. Keep doing the same thing. Just don't take alcohol in it. Make your drinks ahead of time. Take the things you need to make your own drinks. Take some non-alcoholic beers or some really good ones. Athletic Brewing Company's another one. Just pre-game in a sober way, man. We wouldn't have gone to funerals, weddings, and all this stuff, games and all that without our booze. Don't go without an ice chest and your own drinks, and it's not near as awkward and tough to fit in. But just being able to be in the moment and be yourself and learn who you are as a sober person, it's a challenge. But I'm working on mine every day, and I think you can work on yours every day. If I can help you in any way, please let me know, and I will. You can reach out. You can email me at Second Chances on Life Podcast. That's the number 2 ND for second, chances with an S, on life podcast at gmail.com. You can find us on Spotify and YouTube, and we will soon be putting clips out there on Instagram and Facebook as well, and possibly TikTok if TikTok comes back around. We don't know what's going to happen to TikTok, but if it stabilizes and comes back around, you'll be able to find us on TikTok as well. So I'm going to try to wrap it up and leave it at that, guys. If you know somebody in need of some help, or they're not acting right, or you think something might be up and they're being different, sometimes it just takes you asking, are you okay? And then being an open ear and a shoulder to lean on, and just listen to them. You don't have to talk, just listen. And they'll tell you what issues they're having or struggling with if they're willing to talk. And the worst thing you could do if they're willing to talk is for you not to shut up. So just let them talk and let them tell you what the problem is and get a game plan to help. So you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Rob's Ranch, but reach out to somebody. There's hotlines for everything. And I just wish you the best. Be kind to one another, help one another, and I just hope you have a blessed day. I love you. God loves you. Thank you.